This is Larissa, which has become such a sort of fulcrum of focus after this crash. In fact, the hospital is just down the road. This is actually Larissa train station, and the passengers train carrying about 350 people. This was its last stop on its journey before that fateful moment when it emerged from a tunnel just outside Larissa city and went head-on into a freight train. Now, it's hard to think of a more fundamental failing when it comes to public transport than two trains on the same line going in opposite directions. Add to that, the informed speculation is that the passenger train was probably doing around 100 miles an hour, possibly more. The freight train coming in the other direction would have been doing a lower speed, but that combined speed when they clashed would have been horrendous, which of course explains the devastation that you are seeing at the crash site. Carriages that have been toppled over, that have rolled, flipped, thrown in the air after that collision, and then the fire that engulfed some of those carriages, suggestions that the temperature would have gone beyond 1,000 degrees centigrade. We know that there are 36 people dead, that there are many more than that who are in hospital. But frankly, we don't know where the number of dead will reach. Still suggestions that there are still people who are being pulled from that wreckage. And a lot of sadness, recrimination, and a small amount of anger brewing as well. I was in this city square in front of the train station. A vigil has been held. Several hundred people here lighting candles in memory of those who've died. Also worth noting that this station is not just the focus of this story, it is also the focal point of the criminal investigation, because just actually a matter of hours after this crash, the station master here was arrested by police and has already been charged with a number of criminal offences, including multiple accounts of death by negligence, effectively manslaughter and other negligence charges. What I think we can read into that is that authorities are holding him responsible for allowing these two trains to be on the same line. Now, on the one hand, you may consider, well, that if somebody is in charge of signalling, then de facto they must be responsible. But when I talk to that anger and that sense of recrimination, there are plenty here, plenty across Greece, who have immediately said, well, we told you something like this would happen. Why? Well, because the Greek rail network is chronically underfunded. It simply does not have the kind of sophisticated signalling system that we take for granted in the United Kingdom and frankly in most of Europe. The signalling system was supposed to be upgraded on this line years ago. That has never happened, and so work is done manually, and the rail regulator in its last report actually highlighted this as a danger and said that this system was prone to human error. One of the rail unions itself a month ago warned of the possibility of a really significant crash like this. So I think you've got two strands. You've got a criminal investigation, which is clearly blaming the station master, and then this other popular sentiment that something more profound caused this crash. But of course, above it all is the simple, horrible human tragedy of dozens of people dying and many more who are badly injured, and the prospect that more people could be about to lose their lives in what is Greece's worst rail disaster in living memory and Europe's worst rail crash for a decade.